energy that Kevin Love gave you to start the third quarter. I saw you gave him a pretty vicious slap there when he came out. Is those stretches? Is it just that simple? That's going to be what's required on
Yeah,
Monday?
it's going to be inspiring plays. You stack inspiring play after inspiring play. Right when I took him out, because that's when he was going to come out, it was about 4 and change. That's
We'll
one
get
of the
started in just a second, everybody.
most
I'm just going to listen to
impressive
Eric Spoelstra's
multiple effort
post-game
rebounds. It
talk.
reminded me of that's something that Dennis Rodman would do. Um, and then we're going to stack a bunch of more of those kind of plays in Game 5. Um, our guys love this kind of deal with the stakes, and the context of everything. We're not even going to think about what's after that. All we're focused on is getting this thing back to Miami.
Final question in the middle, Coach.
Eric Rohan, Nocturne Sports Illustrated. You mentioned Gordon earlier. I believe he was the leading scorer out of everyone tonight. It seems like a lot of times he takes advantage of his size in the paint. Just in general, when a player like that has a size advantage and they're using it, where do you kind of begin to counteract that? How do you begin to counteract something like that?
Yeah, I felt like the size was more of a factor in Game 1. I think there was miscues, lack of communication, or rotations tonight. Now, he is fully capable of doing what he's able to do, and he's big, he's athletic, he's a great finisher. He has a real good synergy, all that stuff. So you have to respect that and then conquer it. Tonight, there are some more relief points that I think we could have handled better. That doesn't guarantee that we would have been able to get the stop, but my instinct says before I got to the film that it felt like more of those kind of things. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Coach.
Thank you.
All right.
Go ahead, Mike. Mike Singer, Denver Post. Bruce, you scored 11 of your 21 in the fourth quarter.
Hey,
What
we're
do you
going to talk
guys
about
think
Bruce
when
Brown.
Joe
He
goes to
showed
the
up
bench,
tonight,
and
so
why did
we'll
it
definitely
not
talk
phase you
about
guys
Bruce
tonight?
Brown.
Really just be aggressive. We knew they were going to trap Jamal and trying to get the ball out his hands. So the other four players.
We'll talk about that as well.
And then luckily it was just my time in the fourth quarter.
I'm actually going to pull up some of those clips. I'm going to let Bruce Brown talk for a little bit. I want to pull up some of those clips. I know this will get tagged and blocked or whatever, but I do want to kind of show you when they did trap Jamal Murray, like what happened
in the league, and the team is also putting the ball in your hands. You're initiating offense.
Let me get to
You're
my
going as a spot up shooter.
secret account.
You're always adding something to your game. Like, how does it
tell
feel to
anybody
have all
about
that
the
come
secret
together
account.
the way that it has in the finals, and now you're one win shy of a title?
Yeah, it's been great. It just shows the work I put in each off season. Remember, when I first came in the league, I couldn't shoot. I wasn't confident shooting the ball at all. I was a muck guy. They left me wide open and let me shoot. So that took a toll on my confidence, but it put a chip on my shoulder. So I just got to gym and work, and now it's showing on the biggest stage.
Let's see here.
Dan, fourth row on the right.
Bruce, Dan Devine, Yahoo Sports. You spent a lot of time in that second unit with Aaron Gordon, playing that small ball five, doing a lot of different roles for you. 27 points tonight. What did you see out of him in his performance in the big stage tonight?
Yeah, AG was just being extremely aggressive. They were switching a smaller defender on him, or in transition he had the smaller defender on him.
Aaron Gordon,
and every
Bruce
time we
Brown
wanted to be
game.
aggressive. He'd make plays for
Hey,
us.
shout
He'd
out
make the
Hilo
play
right
every
now.
time.
Shout out
tonight
Hilo
was
for
just
being
time
in
to
the
score, and
chat.
he was so
Let's
that
see
was
here.
huge for us.
Let us get started.
All
Actually,
the way
you
in the
know,
center, fifth.
let me just find Aaron Gordon's scores really quick, and then we can kind of get into talking about this. Let's see here. Can I not do it by player? Okay, here we go. Because I kind of want to talk really more about like Aaron Gordon tonight. This was obviously the Aaron Gordon game tonight. And let me see if I can just pull up like Aaron Gordon. See if I can just pull up all 18 clips of Aaron Gordon and see if it works. Let me see if it works really quick before we
Trap of the pick and roll, touched it to Jokic, and then
but make sure it's offense, not defense. Let's see here. Can I do this by his total points? Let me see. Let me see if cuts will be the one I'm looking for.
goes right at Jokic. Lost the handle.
1 second, everybody. I just want to make sure that this is it right here.
This was wisely running the play. That was much ado about nothing. They were trying to out-embellish each other. Jokic feed inside to Gordon. Gordon's shot missed it. Fight for the rebound. The Heat. Not falling down. Put your head down.
Let me see if this is when they blitz him. Here we go. I found it. Perfect. Sweet. Perfect. Okay. So we're obviously going to talk about this in the chat. Hopefully everybody is enjoying their Friday afternoon. We're going to talk really a lot about this whole Miami Heat Denver Nuggets series. Like you heard, or like you're seeing in the title, I think that this series is officially over. Hilo, you said great adjustments from Michael Malone. I hope he gets credit because he's the first coach in all the playoffs to compete with Spoelstra. Yeah, I mean, this was definitely a chess match, and I just feel like the thing that is going to help Michael Malone a little bit more than I would say Spoelstra is just the pieces that he has around him. I mean, the Denver Nuggets are, if the new rule wasn't in place, and I hope, we'll get Pete on here to talk more about the CBA, because I want him to explain it to everybody, and including myself, more about this whole CBA stuff. But more importantly, what this is going to deter, for layman's terms, is that it's going to deter the super team. And, I think the Denver Nuggets were close to being that super team, that next super team, just for like the next couple years. But it's going to be one of those situations where we're going to be looking at the Denver Nuggets, for a little bit about how good they are. I mean, again, Aaron Gordon tonight played spectacular, 27 points. Michael Porter Jr. giving you something out there, not really that much, but I think he did give you some good buckets in that stretch that he was in. I know he's not playing as many minutes, and they're kind of relying a little bit more on Bruce Brown, who clearly is showing you that he was worth keeping for that Brooklyn Nets team. They're making him pay for the amount of minutes he's playing, and also just the way that he's been balling out on that team. Braun did not play very well tonight, Russ, but I think it's kind of one of those things that you're not going to always get that from Braun. He's going to be a guy that you potentially could see out there that might play well here and there, and obviously he played well the other night. But tonight was the Aaron Gordon game, and one of the favorite clips, and I want to show you guys really quick here, and I know that this is probably going to get tagged, but this is kind of what I wanted to show you really quick. Let me mute the audio. Maybe that'll be it. So here's kind of what the Miami Heat decided to do today. If you guys are watching this, you're watching it live with here right now, not the actual game, but what the Heat did early in this game, a lot of the times with Jamal Murray in the pick and roll with Jokic, is they would try to blitz, or what we call trap the ball handler right here. They would try to trap him, and what Jamal Murray did a good job of was being able to keep his dribble alive, keep going, hitting there. And this is what's smart about Jokic. A lot of the times what you'll see in the NBA, especially for teams that are not very good or teams that are very young, you're not going to see a smart play right here. And you're going to see Jokic kind of flash to the middle. What flashing to the middle does, especially for a guy like Nikola Jokic, is that it's going to allow him, especially this bottom guy, Jimmy Butler here, to go to him, because you obviously have to guard the ball when he gets it. I think Jimmy Butler was trying to steal it there. But it ended up being a great opportunity for a guy like Aaron Gordon to get some of those buckets that they were looking for here on the baseline drive. Aaron Gordon could have stayed in the corner, but hey, when you have an easy layup, when you're extended that far out for the defense, this is barbecue chicken city right here. And the fact that they were able to get this wide open look is a great thing if you are the Denver Nuggets. I mean, easy bucket for Aaron Gordon. I felt like Aaron Gordon had some really great finishes tonight. He actually had a good one off of their, I would say their Princeton hybrid series that they've been doing, where they would hit Jokic in the pinch, what we call kind of that one of the left or the right elbow of the free throw line, run that dribble handoff, and then because so many guys were rotating and they were trying to trap that. I actually think I might have it here. Let me see if I have it. Let's see here. Maybe this is it. Let me see if the next one is it. Let's see if this next one could be it. I think this one is, let's see. No, this is the double ball screen. Oh, this actually might be it. That was not what I was looking for, but again, another example of Aaron Gordon just being in the right place in the right time, and really with the focus being on Jokic so many times. I think this one might be it right here. Hit there, get the dribble handoff, and then look at this. Both guys commit, and then it's a quick little alley-oop to Aaron Gordon to finish around the rim. I mean, to me, the things that the Miami Heat didn't do very well, like Eric Spoelstra said, was definitely rotate on defense. I mean, it was kind of one of those things that you looked at it, and I felt like the Denver Nuggets and Michael Malone had the Miami Heat's number the whole game. Like, I know the Miami Heat were up, 1 point in the first quarter, and really the first quarter I feel like is the time where teams are really starting to feel each other out. Like, how are they going to play each other? What's going to be the situation here and there? But at the end of the day, the Denver Nuggets just took off from there. They didn't score as many points in the fourth quarter as they did the first and the second, but we also saw that the Miami Heat didn't have their usual fourth quarter, which was a quarter where they usually get back into the game, and what's gotten them very far in this series. The other concerning thing, and let me look at Hilo's comment really quick here. Agree with the pieces they're working with, but Malone still made the right choices with his better pieces. Every team the Heat has played the playoff could say the same. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things too, right? Where I just felt like the whole time, and even in the Boston Celtics series, I know I'm a Boston Celtics fan, and I will get probably ridiculed just because obviously we lost, but we didn't play a very good series, and the Miami Heat bench players actually stepped up a lot in that series. And really the situation that we're seeing here is that both Gabe Vincent and Strus kind of turned back into who they were regular season and against the Atlanta Hawks series, which was okay role players, right? Gabe Vincent 1 for 6, 0 for 4 from 3. Mike Strus 0 for 3. Duncan Robinson didn't play very well tonight. 12 points, 5 of 7, but only 2 of 4 from 3-point. The bigger concern, I would say, if you're the Miami Heat, to me, is in order for them just to win in general, I feel like Jimmy Butler has to be on his best game that you have ever seen. There's a reason why when Jimmy Butler was dominating the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, at least in the first 2 games, he was scoring like in the 40s. And with him scoring in the 40s, yeah, it was easy for having games like this where Gabe Vincent and Mike Strus, who are probably more, 45 to 46% 3-point shooters, can just get their 2 or 3 buckets that they need, right? Whereas now, because Jimmy Butler isn't scoring as much, I feel like Jimmy Butler, even though he's not taking a lot of shots this time around, like before when we saw him in the other series, I really saw him attack the paint. I really saw him do a lot of different things and actually look to score. I felt like a lot of the times Jimmy Butler is not looking to score at all. Like we look at the shots for Jokic, we look at the shots for Murray in the last couple of games, I would say, and usually they're like in the mid 20s. Tonight it was a little bit more of an even scoring because Aaron Gordon got the hot hand tonight, and you let him get an extra couple more shots because he's got that hot hand. And so to me, the Miami Heat are never going to win this series, and they're never going to win these games if Jimmy Butler's 9 for 17. The other thing as well, and really the disappointing thing, if you are a Miami Heat fan, is just the Bam Adebayo performance tonight. Bam Adebayo did not play very well. Oh, Sean, we're actually on Kick. I will link my Kick account to you guys. We're actually on Kick. I officially started doing Kick along with YouTube. So let me actually get. Oh, there you go. There's my stream right there. But let me see if I can. Get you guys there. Okay, it just wants to keep doing that. We're at the undercharge. We're at the_charge. That's the name of the channel. So if you guys actually want to watch on Kick, you can watch on there. More than happy to watch it on there. But we also are live on YouTube as well. And kind of where was I again? Yeah, I mean, again, Bam Adebayo was a little disappointing tonight. It's kind of one of those things, like he had a smaller guy on him a lot of the times and just couldn't finish those little I would say like kind of near the restricted area, kind of around the rim touches. Like he just couldn't finish over a guy like not Michael Porter Jr., but Contavious Caldwell-Pope. I know Contavious Caldwell-Pope had a great strip on Jimmy Butler earlier in the game, but you have a guy like KCP, you have to score. Like that's the one thing I feel like that's missing from a lot of these big men. Other than Jokic and Embiid, like a lot of these big men are not the ones that are supposed to be good, or the ones that are paid like they're good. They're really supposed to be finishing around the rim. I just was not impressed with the finishing around the rim. It kind of gave me DeAndre Ayton vibes, if I'm being honest. Like I just remember that series where Ayton was being guarded by, I think it was Holiday, and just couldn't finish around the rim with Holiday on him. And it was the same type of vibe I got with Bam Adebayo tonight. Couldn't finish around the rim with like KCP on him. Like those have got to be finishes if you're Bam Adebayo. And that's just something we just didn't see tonight. And that's kind of one of those situations where I want to see more of that from Bam. Like I really do want to see more of that from him. Like you need to be able to fit, like in order for you to be a superstar, in order to be the number 2 guy, to me, you have to finish around the rim. Like there's no excuses for why Bam Adebayo couldn't finish around the rim. And let me know in the comment section. I kind of want to get your guys' opinion on Bam Adebayo. Again, he's kind of one of those players that is kind of like off and on. Like there's some days where it's like he's a great player, and then there's other days where he's just a frustrating offensive player to watch. Defensively, I know what he can do. Defensively, I know what he's doing around the rim, but tonight was definitely not his night. He definitely hurt the Heat tonight. 8 turnovers, 11 rebounds. I don't think that's, rebounds, it is what it is. It's a team game now. I'm not going to rely on my center to have all the rebounds, but 8 turnovers is not winning you a game. Like 15 turnovers compared to 6, that's got to tell you something about the second chance points and the possessions that you lose. Again, the Denver Nuggets are shooting the ball very well, and right now the Miami Heat are getting ice cold. And I think they're going to be ice cold when they return to Denver, Colorado on Sunday, I believe, is when the game is, because I just think it's over. I just felt like this was the must-win game tonight for the Miami Heat. I felt like the whole time, really, it didn't feel like the Miami Heat were going to come back into the game. It always felt like the Denver Nuggets had it under control. Even when Jokic had the foul trouble, I know a lot of people are upset, on both sides, understandably. Some guys are mad because Jokic, they feel like embellishes, they feel like he flops. So does Bam Adebayo. Like all these, there's a lot of flopping going on and things like that. But if you're the Miami Heat, you have to take advantage of the fact that Bam Adebayo was out. And I felt like they were going to go on that run, especially after they got him in foul trouble. They scored. They got the ball back down to Jimmy Butler. They got an and one against Jamal Murray. And they just couldn't capitalize on that. And they got Contavious Caldwell-Pope to have a 3. And offensively, I just think the Denver Nuggets, you got to tip your cap off to this team in Denver. I mean, it's just too good. The offense just moves very well. You see a lot of good things. Like Jeff Green even hit a clutch 3 in this game. And that's just kind of the reality of, like I said, like I know the Miami Heat and Eric Spoelstra, they do a good job. The Heat culture is there. But man, it is so frustrating to watch the Miami Heat just continuously. I would say like it's more frustrating to watch like Jimmy Butler not really be the aggressive Jimmy Butler that we saw in the last couple games. Oh, Bugs. Hey, shout out Bugs. Let's see here. Let me see where he said Kings would have beat the Nuggets and the Lakers in the playoffs if Adam Silver didn't rig the Warriors series. Do you let me see, did you put that on the kick? Oops. Hey, but appreciate you, Bugs, for donating to the channel, $5. Hey, if you guys want to donate to the channel, the donation link is always there in the comment section down below. You can also live chat it as well. But let me know what you guys think, man. I mean, this is kind of one of those things too. I want to, kind of leave this open-ended question. I think, Hilo, you said that Bam Adebayo is Let me see what you said. Oh, Streamlabs or whatever. Okay, I feel it. Appreciate it, Sean. Okay. But yeah, I do feel, it's even worse than like than B version of Bam. Like, I feel like it's C version of AD, really. I mean, like you said, like I think it's C version because I think Bam Adebayo, it to me like was just so disappointing. I mean, it's kind of one of those things too. I mean, like one block tonight. I mean, defensively was not like the usual defensive stopper that Bam Adebayo is. And I think it just kind of goes to show you that the Miami Heat are basically just duct taping this thing together. And it's a lot of fun to watch the Miami Heat because they play the game the right way. They move the ball well, but at the end of the day, they just don't have the superstars and the length to compete with it. I mean, Max Strus is what? 6'5", not big enough. Gabe Vincent, 6'3", not big enough. Duncan Robinson, I think, is like 6'7", not really big enough. Like he's more of a 6'7" guard. Kevin Love, Bam Adebayo. I mean, these guys are not as long and lanky as I would say the Denver Nuggets. I mean, Aaron Gordon's like 6'10", 6'11". Michael Porter Jr. 6'10". Jokic 6'10". Jamal Murray, the smallest guy, I think is like 6'3", maybe even 6'2", 6'4". Contavious Caldwell-Pope, like, lengthy guy, like 6'5", but has had that veteran experience. I mean, it's kind of one of those things that you just look at it and you just kind of, you got to give it up to the Denver Nuggets for what they were able to do tonight. I mean, again, Jamal Murray did not play his best game offensively. 15 points, 5 for 17. Hit 2 threes tonight. Assists, had 12. I mean, he was moving the ball because he was getting trapped because they didn't want what happened in game number 3 to happen to him. But at the end of the day, I just felt like it was the rotations and the trapping that they did with Jamal Murray tonight. I felt like that it really kind of exposed, I would say it kind of exposed the Miami Heat tonight because they tried to trap him. I mean, again, right there, they try to do the same thing, even without, I would say, without really trapping him. I mean, look at this. He draws to the ball, right? I mean, really, you could just do a little pocket pass, even, here, do a little pocket pass to Aaron Gordon. He's finishing that around the rim, but he was patient, finished around the rim. And I just feel like, Jimmy Butler, not really engaged in the play. Duncan Robinson, you have to stay out there because it's Contavious Caldwell-Pope. You have to be there on the shooter. But, I just, Jimmy Butler just kind of standing there. To me, Jimmy Butler's clearly hurt. And Russ, I will not be reading your chat. He is I think he's just hurt. Like, there's got to be a reason why, one, he's not looking to attack. He's not looking to score. There's a reason why I believe these last couple games, like, let's look at his stat line from the last couple games. It hasn't been good. See, game log. Game log is probably where it's at, right? 9 for 17, 11 for 24, 7 for 19, 6 for 14. I mean, there was only one game where he shot over 20 shots. And I just feel like the ankle is really bugging him. I mean, really 13 points in their game 1 loss, 21, 28, 20. Like, he has yet to break the 30-point mark. And, I was talking to a couple of my friends a little bit earlier. I have a feeling that, like, for them to win, Jimmy Butler has to score more than 35 points. Now it's looking like he has to score more than 40 for these guys to win. Nick, you said Miami can do it. They just need to lean on their guards. I mean, they did lean on their guards tonight. I mean, again, like, we look at guys like Strus and Vincent, like, those guys were hitting threes for them a little bit earlier, right? And then now you're looking at it and they've turned back into pumpkins. Like, it's kind of one of those things where, you can only rely on your role players for so long. I mean, every role player is going to have their game, right? We talk about the Ray Allen safe 3 for LeBron James, like the role playing type of shot. Mike Miller, role player. Shane Battier. Even thinking back to like Richard Jefferson for the Cleveland Cavaliers when they won their championship. Andrew Wiggins just last year, even, like, right? Like, those guys had some great games. And again, I don't think Gabe Vincent or Strus has had that game yet. I mean, maybe one of those guys has. I can't remember if game number 2 they had those games. Let's take a look. See if Gabe Vincent had that game. Let's see game log. I guess he had that game in game number 2, 23 points, 4 for 6 from 3-point. Like, to me, that's going to be like, you don't have to go 8 for 12, Gabe Vincent. Like, they don't need that from him. But what they do need from him is that 4 for 6 or 3 for 2 or 2 for 3. Like, they're going to need that type of shooting night from Gabe Vincent. And I know like those two guys put up bagels, but I don't see how the momentum shifts back to Miami at all. I just feel like this is kind of one of those series where I felt like the Denver Nuggets had it since the beginning. They really let that game number 2 slip away because really this should have been a sweep, and we should be going home, and the Denver Nuggets should be celebrating with some champagne, and Michael Malone can put his name in history and etch himself as one of the great coaches to coach this game because their offense is revolutionary, and not because of the fact that it's kind of to me it starts with that pinch post offense that they run. Again, it's that ode to the Princeton offense. It's that ode to the 63 Celtics, like the way that you just hit the post up there and you just run off of him. Like, I mean, it's just kind of old school basketball with new school style and flair to it. I mean, it's the reason why, my high school team are running it right now is because it's so good. Like, there's so many different options that you can run with it. And I'm actually curious to see if any NBA teams next year run that same system. But it's hard because you're going to need a big that knows how to pass the ball. That's the one thing that I think makes it very difficult, and really why I think the revolutionary of the bigs could come back, if I'm being serious with you guys, is because you need a big that's able to pass. Like, Jokic gets the ball in these post-up situations. I know the analytics, like they has been telling you the last couple of years now, the post shot is the worst shot in the game, but when you have Jokic passing it, I think it just absolutely amplifies it by a ton. And I think the big in terms of passing ability can come back. Like, this is why Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren got taken in the draft, because those guys have similar, not size, but ability to pass the ball out, defensively be long and athletic, and be disruptive in the game. You could potentially see that in the NBA from the here on out, like with Chet Holmgren and Wemby. Like, it's gonna be fun with those two guys, especially with Chet being healthy now, and for Wemby to kind of back in the league and do his thing. Ruby said if Hero was only like, I don't even think Hero makes a difference in the series, man. Like, who does to me, like, what does Hero do for this Miami Heat team besides be like a threat at the rim? Like, I think defensively he's still a liability. I think he's a streaky shooter too. Like, he's not going to be a guy that's going to do a lot of things, and he's coming off a broken hand. Like, I think it's really tough to risk it, man. I don't know. I mean, I like him as a player. I think he's okay, but I don't think he adds a lot to your team. Like, is he the third or second best? Like, is he the second best guy that you bring back? I mean, if he's your second best guy, that means you're in trouble. Give Tyler Zero his hairline time. Let's see here. It's truly beautiful offense. I'd say other than Prime Warriors, it's the prettiest offense in the last decade. Yeah, I mean, like I said, like it's an ode to the Princeton offense. If you guys watch or do any Princeton, studied it. I mean, I literally did a whole, I would say, like 3 or 4 month study because, like I said, we're running it with our high school team. I've been doing like a deep dive study on the Princeton offense because of how many different options you can do. It's hard to guard because of how much the big plays a big role into it. Like, if you have a passing big, it just makes it a lot easier. It just makes it better. It can flow into like a 5-out too. It can flow into like a wide look as well. So that's the beauty of the Princeton offense, especially in 2023, is like you can be in different formations and do different things, and it's too pretty. It's kind of one of those things. Like, I'm excited for when, we've been running it so far in our summer league, and I've liked what I've seen from it. We've done it in practice a couple times. Like, it has been looking good. And so I hope you guys, like, if anybody is a basketball nuthead, if anybody loves basketball the way I do, you really should check out that offense. It's actually really good and really fun to watch. And I just think it opens your mind when you think about it. But, I think it's kind of one of those things where the Denver Nuggets have that. I know Sabonis has been in that sort of Princeton Zoom action that they've been doing for the Sacramento Kings, Sean. So shout out to them as well. But at the end of the day, the Denver Nuggets are officially closing the chapter on the Miami Heat. Sunday will be the swan song for the Miami Heat. I just don't think that they're going to stop the Denver Nuggets' offensive firepower. They're at home. They barely lose at home. This home is like their number one thing. I mean, if we look at the let me see if I can find what their record is. Let's see here if I can find the record, and then we'll kind of head out of here. We'll answer a couple questions, and then we'll sign out. The Denver Nuggets are 6-4 at home right now. Like they're gonna win this game. I don't see any other team winning this game. Miami Heat are not winning it. It's tough, man. Like the Miami Heat did really well to get where they're at today, but ultimately I think the Denver Nuggets are just too strong. They're too powerful, and their offense and their length is just too much for any team, especially the Miami Heat, to overcome, especially with not as very athletic people than I would say the Denver Nuggets have. I mean, like I said, the fact that you have really should be two-time Doug champion and Aaron Gordon absolutely killing it is a sign for big things to come. Excuse me. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to do it here for The Charge. Thank you once again for joining us here, giving the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. It was fun talking basketball with you guys. I really, truly enjoyed talking with you guys after the game. I know that Miami Heat fans are going to be sad tonight, but you still have one more game left. Let's see if you can make it a series, see if you can't turn it around. But I'll be honest with you guys, I think it's going to be over. It's barbecue chicken. It's over. It's a gentleman's sweep. Denver Nuggets calling it. Game number, was this game number? Was it 5? Game number 5. I think it's going to be officially over. So anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining us here on the channel, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. This is going to be a fun kind of off season that we get into. Prove me wrong, Miami Heat. See if you can't get a win, but it's going to need to be a Jimmy Butler masterclass in order for them to win. So 40 points or more from Jimmy Butler and this team wins. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, let's see if you can do it. Anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining us here on The Charge, giving you the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. We'll catch everybody on the next episode of The Charge. Let's make sure that there's no other kind of NBA news to kind of talk about here. Ripper.com will affect the name. Bucks Milton had surgery on knee. The Nuggets get even more richer. They get a package for a deal with Thunder picks. I mean, this is just looking good for the Denver Nuggets. If you're a Denver Nuggets fan, I know you're celebrating. You're out there doing your thing. But let's see what they can do on Sunday. Anyway, guys, like I said, my name is Bernie. Thank you once again for joining, and we'll catch everybody on the next episode of The Charge. Like I said, please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Shout out to Sean. You're the GOAT. Pete, you're also the GOAT as well. Josh, you're the GOAT. Russ, you're just a Doja Cat stan. Anyway, guys, like I said, my name is